meatballs from Syros with walnuts, almonds, and prunes. A little bit of history on this. I'm going to read it to you just to know. Cooking meats with dried fruits and nuts brings to mind medieval or ancient dishes that have survived in the North African cuisine. So this is where this recipe is originated from. Basically, we need, let's see, a half a cup of almonds, and we're going to have to blend these up. I might as well turn you down so you can see what we're doing. Okay. I have my spice and nut grinder here to make my life easier. I bought it a couple of years ago and I was really happy with it. Okay. I'm going to grind these up first. Just do one set of nuts at a time. Okay, we got half a cup of almonds. All right, we need a half a cup of ground walnuts. Put that over there for a minute. Grind that up. Well, better put the pine nuts in with this because the oil in this is not grinding up that well. All right, we need a third of a cup of pine nuts. Let's see. Pine nuts. I was watching a video that was talking about there were like 3 steps from the whole society collapsing. And it was really wild. They said if we had a major plague, how society would fall apart and everything else. Let's get some of these big nuts out of here that did not grind up. I'll put them with the pine nuts. Okay. Okay, those didn't grind up yet. So, this is what we're doing. I know none of you are saying good morning, but I'll say good morning to you. Okay, this has to grind. It's too big. Okay. Sander block it. Well, you don't want to grind up. Don't worry, I'll do it again. Good morning, everybody. Could you imagine having to do this with a mortar and pestle? Let's see if we can get these ground. Okay. All right, ground all these nuts up. Put them to the side. If I'm slow today, please forgive me. Hello, Jerry. Why would you want that name? Yeah, your arm got tired. That's true. Yeah, this is a Cuisinart spice and nut grinder. It does make your life easier. They're not very expensive. They had more expensive ones, but this was the one that I needed. All right. Ta-da! With a knife. We need a medium onion. How do you want me to quarter this? Okay, quarter it. All right. Now I have a small food processor that I'm going to be using to make my life easier. But as I was telling you, I was watching that program. There was some truth in it, and there wasn't some truth in it. It's more like they're just talking about a plague. I was thinking more of a war torn. They're trying to make it somewhat simple, that it won't be as bad as people would think. But if you read the Bible, it's going to be very bad. Because if we go to war and we use atomic weapons, homes and lands would be contaminated, water would be contaminated. There'd be people that are addicts, cannot get a hold of drugs and stuff. They'd be losing and having withdrawal symptoms. We wouldn't have the protection to keep animals at bay. Predators. Animals in the zoo will be free. It's not a pretty sight to think about. All because I watched that program yesterday. YouTube put it out, and I said, okay. Let's see what they'll say. Well, then I hope I get sick and I die, because I would not want to be a survivor. Like I said, my husband said, if we're going to have an atomic war, he knows where he's living, the place is going to be hit. He's not running, because he knows the devastation afterwards. Anybody who's done military and been in combat or seen the destruction of stuff, they would not want to be alive. All right, we got our onion quartered. Make sure you get that stem. We're going to have to cut the stem off. We're going to throw this in a food processor. I have a mini food processor. That's what I'm going to use, and hope that it all fits. This is another nifty contraption to have. This is a Cuisinart as well. It wasn't too expensive either. But I figured I don't want to pull that big one out. If I'm just going to do a little of something, I said, then let me just get a little one. Fatum, hello? There's a floating heart. Thank you, at VJ Life. I'm not going to read your whole title because I sort of get lost in it, okay? So, and I'm feeling miserable. My back hurts because I have this cold and it's giving me a problem, but at least I don't have the headache, so I can say thank God for some things. All right, you're going to put this onion in your food processor if you have a big one. I'm going to try to use my little one. And they also want us to add to this a half a cup of fresh parsley chopped. Wow. Okay. What are we making today? Baked meatballs from Syros with walnuts, almonds, and prunes. This is an ancient dish because a lot of people don't mix dried nuts with meats and stuff and dried fruit. So this is going to be a new way of making it. Don't ask me what it tastes like because I can't taste anything. I'm going to have to ask my sons. They said dinner was good yesterday. Said, can't you taste? I said, I can't taste anything. So I have to ask them, how was dinner? Oh, they were good. Oh, okay. See, it's bad to have a cook who's sick because they can't taste anything. Now we need 3 tablespoons of lemon juice squeezed in here. Oh, my lemons are getting old. If I can't do this, I'll go get a jar. Just pulling the seeds out. Okay, where did I put it? Okay, well, I'll use this to hold it. No, that's not yet. Hope you all had a lovely day yesterday. I know I was late taking down the Christmas tree. I spent all day. I was exhausted. I said, boy, this cold is taking me from one end to another. But I finally got it all packed up. But I just don't have the energy. Okay. Get rid of that. All right, let's see. One. Okay, we need another half. Do you guys remember when your mother used to sit there and use fresh lemons and have to squeeze them to make a lemon meringue pie? I do. You can buy lemon juice now, and I'm sure a lot of people do it that way, but I remember squeezing the lemons, straining all the seeds out of them, because there was always a lot of seeds in them. My girlfriend used to get me to eat lemon and salt together. We'd walk down the street. Her mother would give us half a lemon, and we would just use lemon and salt or lemon and sugar. We'd walk and go do what little girls do, getting in trouble like every child does. See, when some of those comments come up like that, I know you're nothing but little twerps. Because adults don't talk, but that's how you think you're talking big. And man, that makes you sound like an adult when you're nothing. Still learning the ropes. But if we were back about 200 years, you wouldn't have time. You'd be out plowing grounds and stuff to get food. Okay, where'd you put it, Sandra? I know you're a little sick, but I need the lid for this. Where did I put the lid? See, when you're sick like this, you cannot function properly. All right, guys. I need the lid for this. Where did I put it? You'll probably say, oh, it's behind you. Yeah, right. No, I got that one there. Got this here. There it is. All right, we're going to blend this together. They say put it in a food processor, so I have. So I'm going to grind this up. If you have a lard, then go ahead and use a lard. Okay, that's it. I'm going to put this with the nut mixtures. Yep, okay. Okay, well, a few of these stems did not grind. They recommend when you have this dish, you can have French fries or mashed potatoes with it. They said that's what goes with this dish, so I will be making mashed potatoes. Okay, now what? They say to use veal or beef, but I'm using bison, which is another word for buffalo. So I wanted to use buffalo today, and I thought it'd be good. Don't worry, I am going to ignore them. See, all of you, you men are just being stupid. But, you know, comedians say men do stupid things. So, what the heck? You're just proving it. All right, we got that in. They want breadcrumbs in here. They say toasted breadcrumbs. They want 1/3 cup. Well, I need a paper towel for that. I took some of my bread and I already did that, so I don't even have to worry. They're already toasted. If you ask me which bread I used, I'm not sure because I use so many different grains. So they want 1/3 cup of toasted breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs are toasted, so why would you want to say it? Shoot! I am sorry, I don't feel good. I know, that's exactly, Denise. No, It's like having lean beef, 93% lean, 7% fat. If you want more fat to it, you can add some pork fat to it. But it's just fine for me because I use a lot of lean. I'll tell you what's really lean is wild game. I mean, that is like super lean. So why would they say toast the breadcrumbs if they're already toasted? Well, I'm not doing a second toast. So you'll notice my breadcrumbs are darker. You can see that. That's because I use whole grains. Just like when I fried chicken, one woman said, "You burned it." I said, "No, it's not burned. It's just that I used whole grains." Let me get rid of some of this stuff here. Oh, that's an empty bottle. No wonder it's sitting there. Breadcrumbs. All right, you're going to need an egg. Oil. What kind of oil do you want? Okay. You want 1/4 of a cup of that. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not supposed to use a dry measuring cup for your liquids. You can, you have to have the ones with the spout. You need 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. I'm using my all blend here that I make, and as you can see, I've got to make more. And I know 4 tablespoons is 1/4 of a cup. Okay, what else do you want? All right, they want a teaspoon of red crushed pepper. These little flakes, that's what they want. You know, I'm not cooking for anybody else. If you're all paranoid about that, that's fine. I mean, if I cook for and I have guests over, I do things a little different. My hands are in water so much they crack. I put a ton of lotion on them to keep them soft where they don't hurt. All right, we need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So if you're paranoid in that aspect or anything else, if you're cooking for your family, believe you me, who's ever cooking will make all these shortcuts and do things. They're not going to sit there and wash their hands. They'll just wipe them or do something like that, but they don't. So don't think that they do. Restaurants, yeah, because you're cooking for a bunch of strange people. When I have people over or I'm cooking in somebody else's kitchen, I take all those extra steps. All right, we got all the way down to salt. All right, we're going to mix this up now. And we're going to let this set for about 30 minutes up to 4 hours, so you have a choice of letting it go. But when I cook for my family, well, that one didn't break down, did it? When I cook for my family, don't worry about it. I wash my hands a lot. I've already done 2 sets of dishes. It's still going, and I got a sink developing more. As you can see, these are extremely moist, and this is exactly what they want. No, I notice in society today, it's really bad. Everybody is so afraid of catching a germ and stuff. Your body builds up germs. If you don't let your dog outside or your animals outside, their immune system is not that strong because they need it. Just like when you walk on the ground barefoot, which people don't do a lot anymore. You're in tune with the mother, and you also develop antibiotics. I know somebody will come on and say, no, that's not so. Yeah, helps your body fight. So many people wear shoes all the time. Now this has to sit in the refrigerator for 30 minutes to 4 hours. I'm going to put mine away, and then I'm going to get the potatoes and start making mashed potatoes. You're going to need a 9x13 greased. We'll get to it soon enough. So let me put this away and get potatoes and start in. But let me know if you make this and you make it with fries, how it comes out. It should come out good. Not sure. We'll find out soon enough. Okay, I've got all that there. This goes here. I am the only one that has a loaded refrigerator. Okay, come on. Yeah, I'm not going to deal with these. Okay. I don't know how many mashed potatoes I want to make. I'm using Idaho instead of Northern because I want more dry ones. I'm going to also sit there and put sour cream in them with butter and salt and pepper. We'll see how much that makes and see if I want more. Okay, close this book for now. I'll get this going. I'm not peeling my potatoes. I'm going to be scrubbing them. That's what I see. You guys, right. Cares. Christ cares about everybody. A lot of people don't care about him. Have you seen what some people do to their bodies? I'm just scrubbing potatoes, that's all I'm doing now. Guys and salt, do you have fun doing this to make yourself feel better? Are you that depressed about the way you look? Or you have nothing better to do in life than insult people because you can't feel good about yourself? But you have the breath of life? You probably have a roof over your head. If you're at a computer, you definitely have a roof over your head and clothes. I used to have a transistor radio when I was a little girl. And we had a little earplug and stuff, and we were told not to put things in our ears because, so I never used the earplug because it would sit there and cause hearing loss. A lot of people are losing their hearing, isn't that nice? And we were also, I didn't use it much, and we were always taught to play our music low, not to entertain our neighbors and everybody down the street. And then, somewhere in the 70s, boom boxes came out. Everybody decided they are going to entertain everybody with their music. But if you play yours loud, no. I got rid of my transistor radio. I don't even have a stereo in the house. I don't even play music anymore. I have neighbors that are entertaining me all the time. They have parties and they go inside, talk, and leave the music blaring outside. And I said, why are you doing that? I don't want to hear it. And that's what they do. I grew up in a time the house was quiet. The television didn't go on until after dinner. We cleaned up. My father and mother would sit down and listen to Walter Cronkite because he was the newsman. Do I copy recipes? I change recipes. I take recipes from all these cookbooks and I make them more nutritious. Like everybody says, you mash potatoes, you sit there and you peel your potatoes. Potatoes, peelings have stuff that your hair needs to stay strong. And people don't know that. People sit there and boil vegetables and overcook them. You're supposed to cook them just until done. That means you have to taste them. They say add water. I will add stock. I make my own vegetable stocks, and then I cook bones down and I make bone broth, and I do that. If I'm making muffins or something and they say white flour, I'm going to mix my different flours up for that. So no, sir, I do not actually use the recipe exactly as is. This one I can't taste or smell, so I'm going to be doing it. But the nutritional value, he wanted me to use white bread and make breadcrumbs. Mine are whole grain breadcrumbs. I'll use mine instead. I'll leave the peelings on the potatoes. And where he says add chicken stock, I'm going to add bone broth, which I already poured out what I need right here. It's waiting right here. And that's bone broth. It's full of gel from the bones, all the minerals. So when we have that, that helps your teeth. And it helps the pain in your joints and stuff. So my way of cooking is to get as many nutrients in the dish that I can so that every time my family eats, we get everything that we need. When you first start cooking like this for your family, they're going to eat a ton of the food because their body is craving so much. But the way they talk about menopause is ridiculous. I mean, women go through it for years. It's only supposed to last one day. You have your cycle, then it stops. And when you have your last cycle, a lining comes out of you that cleans the whole uterus. Women have a menstrual cycle and they're in pain like crazy. I was like that. They thought I had appendicitis attacks. That's how bad mine were. Because my mother liked white flour and stuff. But I got into nutrition and I started changing food around, and I noticed it didn't hurt anymore. And I said, I didn't have to take pain medicine. Aspirin couldn't hold me. It was really bad. So I did that, and it was just, I said, okay, this nutrition thing really works. I hated morning sickness. God, do I hate. I didn't know I was pregnant. I had morning sickness for one day. And I said, okay, that's it. Because I don't like bringing food up that comes down and goes down my stomach. So I sat there and took a B6 25 milligrams with a B complex. And in 24 hours, all the nausea disappeared. Pregnancy mask is a B6. The circles under the eye comes from pantothenic acid, but if you've had generations like East Indians and they have circles under their eyes, it'll take 4 or 5 generations to clear that up, but they have to eat a special way to make sure they get that pantothenic acid. Varicose veins come from a vitamin C and a vitamin E deficiency, but if you get the wrong vitamin E, you will not. You'll end up with your varicose veins anyway. Now, I'm not going to say that you can't see your veins as you get older because the skin does get thinner. I can see it. And for the women who have to go in and have those stripped, you you've eaten pretty poorly. That's all I can say. But it's never too late. But the first thing you always have to do is to get your digestive system up and running. I was so under stress when my husband was very sick and dying. I started developing arthritis in my hands. I started developing brown spots. My hands and fingers were twisting. Okay, very nice, sir. Yeah, the peelings are great. And I was so stressed out. I take calcium, magnesium every day, and I have for many, many years. And I realized that the stress I had to increase on everything, you know, just to get through the stress and his death and taking care of his body and all. And then when it was over and I relaxed, my hands came back because I was healthy enough. They say the blotches that women get on their faces as their odor is because they have a dirty colon. And you know what's funny is you can't talk about shit because people get really uptight about it. They take it very personal because they don't want anybody to know. The thing is that it's the big telltale. Bad breath is, your urine, all of that is. Now, people who take vitamins, B2 is the one that gives it the color, but it doesn't mean you're getting all your nutrients. Now, if you have fine veins on your face, that's a B2 deficiency. Now, some of this, you say, but it doesn't clear up when I take nutrients. That's because when your mother carried you, she didn't cover for those nutrients. So your body grew actually with a lower amount of it than should be. So you end up with these problems. It takes 3 to 4 generations from Casey's readings to clear a situation up like that. But each generation has to eat very well, and then that disease or whatever runs in the family clears up. But what gets me, which is really funny, is people don't eat well. And then they sit there and get angry with their body that it gets so. But society has us convinced that you get old, you've got to have medicine, you're going to be sick, you're going to have all these aches and pains and all. The doctors don't know nutrition. The big pharmaceutical company wants to keep you going, so you have to keep their income coming in because they don't want you well. A well person does not see a doctor. I did not see a doctor every 3 or 6 months or yearly. My mother took us if we needed it, and that was it. Of course, my father was happy about that because he was a penny pincher. So I figured throughout my life I was going to have children. I didn't want children going and being as irritable. Listen, raising children is no piece of cake, okay? But a sick child, oh my God, that's not what I wanted. I said, no, 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 no. I think the biggest crisis we had was I have a lot of allergies. Like I told you, I'm sensitive to chemicals and stuff. One son, they said he had asthma, but he doesn't. What he has is an allergy against the fine hairs of animals, which triggers a breathing problem. If he's not around animals, he's fine. He doesn't need any medicine. And they were saying his lungs were going to be scarred and this and that, and nobody bothered to ask. The same thing with my doctor when he went to put me on blood pressure medicine, and I didn't listen to him. I said, what did I add new to my diet? I said, I added mushroom coffee. By then, I knew I couldn't have caffeine, but they said it was mushroom coffee, so I thought I could have that. And then I found out the mushroom coffee, the mushrooms, when they went to dehydrate them, they sprayed them with coffee. And I said, oh, well, that's really great. I can't have that. Came off of it, just cut it out of my diet, that's all. So doctors aren't always right. Break a bone, yeah, I can see that, you know. just to go. If you have a cholesterol problem, like nutrition and the readings state, it's lecithin that you need, but you can't take, and they both say the same thing, you cannot just take the vitamins that eat lecithin up. You have to take them all in unison. And that's one thing that kind of came across the readings and all, was that you had to get everything together. So when you laid out a meal, you had to make sure, like the ARE said, for every vegetable under the ground, you have to have 2 above. Okay? That's the balance. And so I know that it's hard for me to keep up on it, but I do make an effort at it. Like Casey said, coffee is a food, but when you add milk to it, it becomes a poison. The composition of milk and coffee cause a problem with the body. Same thing with tea. So if I do have coffee and I do add milk into it, which is rarely, unless I'm having a special coffee, I will taste the acid that comes up here. You can actually taste it if you're accustomed to not having it there. Like I have a lot of women that come on and they say, I hate whole wheat. Yeah. Because you have to know how to cook whole wheat. Yeah. You don't want it because society, and this goes back to the Egyptians, stated, you know, the royal family, they wanted to separate, the pharaohs and stuff wanted to separate themselves from everyday people. So they sat there and they wanted to have white potatoes. They wanted to have white bread, white rice, to keep it, you know, so they're not known with the so-called commoners, you know. That's how they got. Thief, you can try, but I don't think I'll hear it. I don't know. I never looked up. The reading just said milk, just generalized milk. He didn't bring it out into any specific areas. He just stated milk in coffee causes a poison. Not one that'll kill you, but, you know, it upsets the digestive system. So I couldn't answer that. Look it up and see how it works. I'm not sure. Now, the reason I'm cutting these pieces small is I have little bits of the skin floating through. I'm going to add extra pepper. Who doesn't like baked potatoes? With sour cream and butter, salt and pepper. Bacon would be nice too, but I'm not putting bacon in here, but I figured I could use the sour cream, add extra black pepper and lots of butter. Okay, thief. Well, that's an unusual way. And these are things that I have read and I tried. Like I said, I've had for 6 months now some root beer that I needed for a recipe. It came out well, by the way, but I still have 5 cans there. That's how often we drink soda. As you can see, it's just sitting there. We're not doing it. Feeling better. You know, it's coming through my system now. I am cold. I feel like I could rattle my teeth right now. No, it'll probably be 3 to 5 days before I really feel better. But right now I'm really cold, but I can't put a coat and hat on. The house is warm, but it feels like an ice cube to me right now. So I read these things, I tried them. Like I said, the only way I could do an experiment, does nutrition keep things away as you age, is I needed somebody that I could control what they eat. And I said, well, the only person I could do that to is myself. That's why I did it. Yeah, I'm going to show up for you guys. I'm not going to leave you out, Polo. So I used my life doing this. I've made mistakes. Yes, I have. Now, they say when you get old, you lose your teeth. Well, I know why you lose your teeth. Women who drink and take drugs and have a lot of children and don't compensate for their diet to make sure that they get enough for their body and the baby, the bones pull back. The bones shrink in the jaw, exposing the roots. The teeth have nothing to hold on to, and then you have to lose your teeth. If you want to know how bad your bones are, take a look at your teeth. Like I said, look at your teeth if you have cavities and stuff. But everybody, the black spots you see, women use makeup to cover these things up. And they don't know that they're putting chemicals back on their face, more chemicals. That'll kill the cells. The cells can only fight for so long and then they die out. So I figured I would use my body. I'd see how my body aged, and then we would know if nutrition really works. You're probably saying, well, have you ever drunk or anything? Yeah, I tried liquor. I'll cook with it. Oh, cojito. I do love having that after Christmas. I don't really drink. I did try it. I was going to do it for 6 months to see what was good about it. After 3 weeks of vomiting and being sick to my stomach and having headaches, I said, well, I don't want to do this. Did I try drugs? Yeah, I tried marijuana. And I liked it for a while. And then it wasn't fun. I said, I don't want it. I guess it's a love of life that I have. I think I do have the flu snack that's going around. And I said, I don't want this. I just came one day and just had the hell scared out of me. And I said, that's it. I ain't touching this again. And everybody said, oh, you got a bad this or that. Somebody laced it or something. No, it was just plain old marijuana. But I got scared straight. And I noticed when I came off of it, there was great depression. I was very depressed. It does cause a depression. When you come off of it, the longer you're on it, I heard, the depression is worse. And I walked away from it. Like I said, I am no perfect angel here. Teenagers do stupid things. Yeah, I think it is snacky. I think it is the flu that's going around that I have. I shouldn't have it long, though. Because I don't feel as bad as I could. I know when I get up, I say, oh, God, I ate. I know that's because it's coming through the kidneys. So I know that for now. My son said, are you all right? I said, my back. He said, what did you do? I said, I didn't do anything. That is the cold coming through the kidney area. That's why your back hurts when you get up, when you first get it, because the kidneys are flushing it out. I'm going to have to sharpen this knife again. So I tried that, and then I said, look, life should not be painful. No, there's more to this. And I did. And I found out you don't have to be in pain for a lot of the crap that people say you have to go through. You don't have to feel bad getting old. You don't have to feel a lot of things that they say you have to feel. What enough? That should be. You're only going to fill the pan 1 inch above your potatoes. Now this potato water you can use as stock. You can make potato biscuits, you can make potato rolls, you can make potato bread, use it in place of water. It's great. Put you here. Let me get this boiling. Am I going to add salt to the water? No. because then I would have trouble using the water from the potatoes to cook with, because it already has salt. I'd have to adjust all the salt for everything else I'm going to use the water with. No, I'll just add water. We are making mashed potatoes to go with the main dish. The main dish we're making is, hold on a minute, baked meatballs from Syros with walnuts, almonds, and prunes. That's what we're making. We're going to be stuffing the prunes with nuts. I mean, they really have this going. We're not having that today. All right, I don't need this potato, so we'll put it there. Get these potatoes going. Get the sour cream and stuff ready. And by then we should be ready. After we get the potatoes done, we'll be ready to get the meatballs, the ground meat. Well, it's not meatballs really, it's logs. I should call it meat logs. But they call it meatballs. Okay, put that up there. Okay, let's see. Where are we? Right now it's 7:30. I was running late this morning again. When I'm sick, I always run late. All right, sour cream. No, I just think sour cream will be great in these. Black pepper, salt. I don't mind using this salt. I was just watching to see if the birds were eating. Where are you, Bonnie? I'm 3 hours ahead of you. So it's 4:30 in the morning. I'd say I've been up 30 minutes. I'm putting extra pepper in this because I am, like I said, I'm going to make it like the mashed potatoes are going to be like having sour cream and butter and extra pepper and salt, like a baked potato. I think it would go nice with this. I might be wrong, but we'll find out. Well, I'm not going to know. I'll have to ask my sons. North Carolina, how is it there? You're in the same time zone that I'm in. Have any of you ever gone to the Creation Museum that's in the South? I think it's in Kentucky. I might be wrong. I want to go there so bad. BC? Snacky, what do you mean BC? British Columbia? My son did say that the steaks I did yesterday, because I added black pepper to them, he said they were spicy. I wonder if there's anybody that's watching me that is actually living in Beeville, Texas, where I grew up. I wonder. Curiosity, just being nosy. Yeah, it's about that temperature. We're at 41. At least that's what my phone said. 4:30. Oh boy, you're way out on the West Coast. Now, I am going to put a good tablespoon into these mashed potatoes that we're making. Butter, 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 butter. See, when you cook with butter and stuff like this, you don't have to add it to the table. I asked my sons, how were those biscuits yesterday? He said, they're good, Mommy. He said, why, didn't you enjoy them? I said, I can't taste anything. He started laughing. He said, I forgot, you can't taste. I can't. I was eating and I said, I imagined it was good. No, I'm not a lefty. I'm right-handed. Okay. Okay. We're going to use a lot of butter in this. Don't worry, this knife is going to be thoroughly dull when I'm done. Must be using front-facing camera. It flips the image horizontally. Really? I didn't know that. I don't know if I'm going to use all this butter. So we're going to stir it in. I could use a ricer, but I have the skins on and the ricer. The skins will get caught in the ricer. I do have one when I'm going to peel. Oh, that hurt. When I peel my potatoes. And if I peel my potatoes, I still scrub my potatoes, and then I'll put the peelings in with the vegetables, and I'll use those for stuff. No, the pesto was in my right hand. This is my right hand right here. Hi, Marvin. Okay, we have to wait for that. We've got the butter, we've got the salt, we've got the sour cream. We're going to use the sour cream in place of the milk because we want to bring that flavor out. To be different, now we have to wait. Okay. Okay, Snacky. See, I'm not watching myself, so I don't know. I don't watch a lot of other channels. There are some that I do watch. That's so long. So we have to wait for everything. Well, once we get the mashed potatoes done, we're going to sit there and then we're going to finish up on that dish and that'll be it. What am I going to serve with this? I'll probably serve broccoli. I'll pull the broccoli out and just steam it with a little bit of water. I'm very careful when I do my vegetables. I don't want to overcook them, and I use as little water as possible, and I collect that water as well, add it to my vegetable stocks. So everything is rotated, but I'll add salt after I take it out, because if you add salt to the waters, it makes it difficult when you're using these stocks. You'll find you're adding too much salt, and that's what you have to worry about. So I'll put my parsley up and oil. Okay, let that can go. pepper. Just putting a few things up while we're waiting. All right, this goes in the cabinet. Now, if you don't know about salt, you have to be careful. Salts have different degrees of saltiness. I did not know this. I'm learning this. Hello, Josie. I did not know that, really. The only reason I use the camera, because I'm not going to pull my whole computer out of the computer room and set it here. Yeah, Jose Estrada, hi. Yeah, so you're teaching me something I did not know. I did not know that at all. Now, the reason I dice my potatoes very, very small is so the peelings aren't real strong, and plus they cook much faster. And that's why I do them like that. Another thing that we will be doing is we're going to strain the potatoes because I don't want to throw the water away. And then we're going to put them back in the pot and we are going to dry them out. So when we go to mash them, you don't have that extra water on it. Now, how you can tell is the bottom of the pot as you're stirring it around. You'll see a film develop on the bottom. Then you know your potatoes are dry. Then we start making mashed potatoes. I like using these waters and everything else. It makes the food really, really rich and much better. All right, where did I put my masher? Okay, come on, you're on high. That's one thing we always have to do is wait for something like that. Hello, Jose. Oh yeah, it's getting ready to boil. You can see the starch building up in the fluid. Bonnie, it is a gas range. Yes, I have, Snacky. I have dehydrated potatoes. If you're going to dehydrate potatoes, you sit there, and I would recommend taking the skin off and using it in stock. And then what you do is you grater them, and then you lay them out on a dehydrator. Dry them thoroughly. Then you can blend them up if you have a food processor, and then you have dried potatoes. As how to rehydrate them, I don't know, but I guess you would use hot milk or some really hot water as you stir it into the mixture that you want, and then season it accordingly. I've dehydrated Jerusalem artichokes, and I blended them up into a powder. But I know Jerusalem artichokes are also, you know them as sunchokes. They're trying to change the names of them, that they're like potatoes, and they work like that. And when you dehydrate, yeah, Snacky, I have done it. I ran out of Jerusalem artichokes. I cut them down this year. Next year I'll harvest. I harvest them every 2 years. Hold on. I had to recharge you. That's why it went dark. So I hustled. I didn't know my phone was that low. Sorry about that mistake. Yeah, you could do it that way too, Snacky. They're boiling. So now we just have to wait for them to finish. Now, I watch a lot of chefs, and they're real quick about a lot of things they do, but they say when you cook, you have to use the freshest ingredients, but not everybody can do that. They go shopping once a week. I have seen women go into the store, and they come in with the pamphlet, and they buy everything that's on sale, but they don't read anything. I see them go down and say, I'm going to pick this up and pick up this. I pick something up, I'm going to read it. I want to know what's going into my body. So like I say, and people don't like me saying it, but going shopping is a minefield. It's just like the soldiers who had to walk through those minefields in World War II. I pray they didn't hit a mine. It's bad. I go into the freezer department, and the only thing I might pick up, let's see, I might pick up are frozen peas, frozen okras if I don't have enough from my yard and my garden, or I'll sit there and I pick up, the store doesn't carry it now, I don't know why, frozen orange juice, and that is the limit of my frozen department. We're making, I'm going to read it again. So Leela, manage. We're having baked meatballs from Syros with walnuts, almonds, and prunes. This is more of a ancient dish because they use dried fruits and nuts into their meats, which a lot of people don't do today. I want to dehydrate cranberries, but they say you have to cut them in half, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I want to know how I can do banana chips. I haven't figured that one out. It does sound delicious, though I'm not going to be able to taste it. Okay, Lynn. I'm not going to be able to taste this because you who are just coming on, I'm sick. I can't taste and I can't smell, so I'm going to have to ask my sons how the dish comes out. I have no idea. Where was I? Oh, I can't remember now. Oh, I wanted to take cranberries, but I want to make banana chips. Now, if you just take bananas and you sit there and slice them and dehydrate them, they're bland. And I said, well, what about, I'm thinking now, this is what I'm thinking about. Now, you can disagree with me, but I am thinking about making sugar water. All right? Taking water, put sugar in it, and boiling it. Just bring it to a boil and throw the bananas in. Cook them for a little bit, not to turn mush, because you'll have to cut them a little thick, and then let them just sit overnight. Now, if I don't boil them and I just put them into the sugar water, I could do that after I boil to make sure that sugar breaks down and let them soak all night long. And I'm thinking about this. Now, I have not executed this. This is just an idea. Well, I want to soak them, but if you coat them in honey water, you're still going to have to, in some way, get the sweetness on it, and you still have to dry them out. So you would have to either, and then they're going to stick if you put them in a dish into the oven on a low oven. So I was wondering if I soak them in sugar water, would that do it? Because you can't dehydrate with honey or something because the inside stays mushy. Snacky, I understand. I stand that, but I wouldn't cut them thin because when they dehydrate, they're going to get really thin. So I would leave them more on the thicker side. Yeah, but I've been told by people, they said whenever you put sugar on your bananas to make banana chips, to make them sweet like we get in the store, that they sit there and they seal up the banana, and then the inside doesn't get dehydrated. This is the whole thing. Now, if I dehydrate them and then brush them with sugar water or honey and water and dehydrate them a second time, that might do it. It might take 2 dehydrations. You see how you play with this? But the thing is, it's trying to get those banana chips where you can store them and then they're there. Snacking. I had heard about banana leather. I have a book that says how to make those. I remember the first time I had one, somebody had bought me one. She was a lesbian. I was only, 16, 17 at the time, and I was not exposed to stuff like that. And she tried to do something she wasn't supposed to, and I brought it to Tony's attention. I was very nervous around her. Okay. So I was very uncomfortable with that. And he took care of her, told her to stay away from me. I saw her many years later, after she said she was a lesbian. Then I saw her with a man. I said, mm-hmm, sure you are. Well, listen, I would like to know how you make your leather. If I have a Facebook cooking page called America's Home Cooking. If you would write that over, Snacky, write the recipe out there for me, I would appreciate it. I'd like to try your way to make mashed banana for leather and share that recipe, and we'll see how it comes out. You might see you. Okay, well, please, I want you to write it out there, so because you can't do it here. I mean, there's no way that you can show a picture of what you've done or anything, but on my Facebook cooking page called America's Home Cooking, you can. Oh, you have it on your channel. What's the name of your channel, Snacky? Because this is what I grew up with. I saw women always sharing recipes. Always. They'd get ideas from each other and do things like that. Let's see if these are done. Just about. We go for. Thank you, Sume. Thank you, Snacky. Matter of fact, my ex-fiance lives in Florida. Oh my goodness. He was my first person I was engaged to, and we broke up. I wasn't ready and to leave home yet, and because he was older than me, he was, and we broke up. Another minute or two and those will be done. That potato water is going to be good on a bread. Thank thank you, Snacky. That's very nice. Hi, Alabama Valley Creek. Okay. Miss Leon, good morning. Okay. We got these potatoes done. I don't know if I can turn you over here. I've got so much stuff going right now. Let's see if I can get you over here and I'll show you how I do this. Okay. Sit you right there. I'm going to turn this flame up and I'm going to be stirring these potatoes down because we're going to cook all the liquid off of them. So when we go to mash them, you won't have that excess water in them, and that's what we're working on right now. Hi, Ernest. So we're just going to stir it and just stir them, and you'll see a film actually develop on the bottom here, which you need. Oh, by the way, for the person who wants to know what I had for breakfast this morning, I actually had apple cider vinegar and water this morning for breakfast. Because I'm sick, I'll be having it every morning until I get better and before bed. You'll see actually a film develop on the bottom. Then you know that you've cooked a lot of the excess water out. So when you mash your potatoes, you get that better flavor that you're looking for. Yeah, I'm developing it. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can get you over here. I don't know. So we're going to try this and see if it works. If it doesn't, well, I can only describe it, okay? Now I'm going to see if I can turn this. See that film developing on the bottom there? We're drying it out. Right there. That's what we're looking for. When you get it on the bottom, you'll see that your potatoes are really dry. See? Isn't that nifty how that works? Okay, I'm going to put you back here and get you down here. Okay. You got the mat here. Now when I stirred them, did you notice how they started mashing up? That is nice. Sandra, you can't see with glasses on. Not with the steam. Yeah, I know. All right, we're going to start adding butter in here, and you're going to stir it, and your arm is going to get tired. I'm going to tell you that right now. Your arm is going to get extremely tired. I should know I use left and right hand when I do it like this. You could use a mixer, I guess, if you wanted to. As the butter melts, we're going to add more butter to it. So these are going to be creamy. And because they're cooked really nice, they mash up even up. You can't get all your lumps out. Doing it this way, because the potatoes are so small, it works. Now, leaving the skin on, I have to tell you, honestly, it does give it a slightly earthy taste with Idaho. If you use northern potatoes, you don't have that earthiness as much. Okay, I hope you had a wonderful time. I'm going to have to turn you up just a little. You just keep on adding sticks in, melting it. It gets easier as the butter melts before you add the sour cream and the salt and the pepper into it. Now, when I did the steak yesterday, I said I didn't want to to use the kelp because of the fish flavor. It's so mild that you don't taste it, but when it comes to steak, I'm just not going to do that. You know, there's some recipes I'll use iodized salt on, but most of the recipes I will use my kelp mixture with iodized salt. If you use pink salt, make sure that you're getting the one from the Himalayas and not a cheap brand, because then you won't be getting what you want. And the reason I use kelp is it's very low in sodium, which causes swelling, but extremely high in iodine. But because my family is sensitive about taking it directly, I have, through the years, thinned out. When I started, it was very little added into the kelp. Very little kelp was added to the salt. And through the time now, I have 3/4 of a cup of kelp to 1/4 salt. And I keep working in that direction. Oh, they do smell good. Now, I've used just about 6 tablespoons in here. Just about. Keep stirring. Oh, God. Yeah, my arm's getting tired. Okay, this is not going to work. Okay, what do I need? A spoon? I'm just about done with the butter. I only have this much that I have used. So see, these videos get longer when I'm doing more than one thing for you guys, but it's nice that you're willing to stick around. That's why I was doing one dish, trying to make it as short as possible and showing you tricks and trades and things that I had learned through the years. I had some good teachers and I learned. Is the butter gone now? Just about. Come on, I have a small spoon. We're going to add some sour cream into this. Right now we're making mashed potatoes with sour cream, a lot of black pepper, butter. Like having a baked potato except for leaving the bacon out of it. What? I don't like this refrigerator. I'm getting mad with it. They set it at this temperature, and why is everything freezing up? I got these new refrigerator, and you know what it does? It says leave it at this temperature. This is exactly what you need. And I said, why is everything freezing? I put it where you told me to put it. I find frozen milk at times in there. Now remember, I'm going to be more heavy-handed on black pepper because I like black pepper, a lot of it. Hi, Karen. Remember, I'm just using part of your name. Right now we're making mashed potatoes, and we'll be getting the meat out of the refrigerator, and I'll read the recipe one more time. We are having baked meatballs from Syros with walnuts, almonds, and prunes. What it is an ancient recipe of mixing dried fruit and nuts with meat, which a lot of people don't do today. Okay. See what I mean? This is frozen. It shouldn't be frozen in the refrigerator. It does need salt and pepper. When I have it set, the temperature they tell me to set it up, and if I turn it down, it doesn't do the job. I don't like these new refrigerators. I like the old ones better. Just finishing stirring it up. Well, this is going to be a little darker. Oh, that is my salt mixture. It's kelp and iodized salt. I try to use kelp as much as possible with iodized salt because it's low in sodium and it's high in iodine, which you need for your eyes and your body. Matter of fact, before they started putting stuff in our food, doctors had noticed there was an iodine deficiency running across our country. So they decided, went to Congress and asked if they could sit there and add iodine to prevent the iodine deficiencies that we had going on in this country. So Congress said, sure. That opened up the, what started out as something to help us has now gone into the direction of hurting us. Now they're putting everything in it. And you notice they changed the terminology around as well because they don't want you to know how to make the things that they make. Because if they gave it to you, you would know what to do. So what you saw here is kelp and salt that I mix. It's 3/4 of a cup of kelp to 1/4 of a cup of salt. That works for me, and this is what I use. On some dishes, like I'm going to have a standing rib roast or a ribeye steak or filet mignon, I'll just use plain iodized salt. I will not put this on this. I want mine perfect. Now you're probably going to say, don't you double dip, young lady. All right, so I'll rinse the spoon off. And we'll try it. But remember, I like extra pepper. Now, if you have leftover potatoes, you can make potato biscuits. You can make potato rolls. So you don't have to waste. I should know because I've done it. So just think about how you like your a baked potato, and then have fun making mashed potatoes like your baked potatoes. Oh, I know I have. I just didn't want to go get it. It's in the dining room in the china closet in the bottom. Because I had no place in the kitchen to put it. It makes it real easy. Now we'll clear this up and get the rest of that dish done. Don't forget you need to grease a 9x13. I'll go get the meat and we'll start working on it. I need my 1/4 of a cup. That's my 1/3. Where did I put my 1/4? Oh, I didn't take it out. Okay. Don't need this. Just cleaning up so we can get it going. Have you ever tried red peppercorns or green or pink? The pink ones are sweet. We could actually we should try putting pink peppercorns in muffins or something and see how it comes out. Okay, because it's not one. You have white, black, red, green, and black. We have 5 different peppercorns. The red ones are like super hot. When you put them in your mouth, you know they're there. The green ones, they taste just like black peppercorns, and all of a sudden the heat hits you. Okay, they sneak up on you. The pink ones, when you eat them, they have a nice sweet taste to them. The white aren't as hot as the black ones, so peppers come in different ones. All right, let's get that meat going. Okay, there it is. Do I have to turn this oven on? Yes. Preheat your oven to 450 degrees. What do you ladies think about having a cook with me? I'll make my own mixtures if I'm going to do that. I did I did that pork roast, and I put equal amounts of black pepper and green peppers. I ground them up and put it on. And that was so good. Okay, now how do you want me to do this? A fourth of a cup. All right, you want me to how do this? Okay, you got your grease bowl. Now you're going to take a fourth of a cup. I'm going to do it just like they tell me to do it. I'm unsure of this. You need a fourth of a cup of this meat mixture that we already did that was been in the refrigerator. They want us to take it and they want us to make logs out of it. But I don't like buy mixtures from the store. I have a book on so many mixtures. It's not telling me how big to make these little logs. So I'm going to make them about this width. Okay, use my hands like that. Oh, I got a whole book on combinations, wild, and then have another book with Louisiana seeds. And boy, when I go into those, I get jars and I just pack them up. They're really, really good. I know sometimes you say, well, what is that? I gave you that mixture. I can't remember. It's just like making vinaigrettes, you know. So these are little logs we're going to make. They only want you to measure out a fourth of a cup at a time. And you guys that are on, keep your minds out of the gutter, because I know my family would say it because I have boys. So keep your mind out of the gutter. I'm actually making the length of the width of my hand. I think that's what it is, Melissa. It does look like that, little individual meatloaves. Wait till you see what we put between them. But remember, I'm using buffalo meat this time. But if you're going to use beef, keep it a little on the lean side because we add so much oil to them. And we don't know if they're going to fall apart or not. I wish I could meet all of you sometimes in person. You sound like really nice people. I just wanted to be different, and I wanted to use buffalo meat, which I thought would be better. That's just me personally. But do not get chuck, get lean. It's going to be a wine with prunes stuffed in them. That's what it looks like. But not everything has to have a gravy, Melissa. And if you have drippings left over, you can save the drippings and you can use them in other places. You might have to scoot them closer together. We'll see. But I think this has a sauce over it, but they said mashed potatoes or fries would go well with this. Anemia is folic acid. Well, which anemia do you have? There's 5 anemias. Are you sure it's low iron, or is it pantothenic acid, or is it folic acid, or is it protein? See, doctors are quick to say you're anemic and they give you iron, but you might not be. But if you are iron deficiency, which causes your anemia, take a tablespoon of blackstrap molasses in the morning and a black tablespoon at night with your dinner. That'll clear that up. All right, that's all you have to do. Okay? Get molasses, blackstrap molasses, and take a tablespoon with your breakfast in the morning and take a tablespoon with your dinner at night. And believe you me, you will not have an iron problem. Okay? Now, if you're missing protein, you need more meat. Pantothenic acid you would need, but you have to take a B complex with it because you're stressed out. All right, that's how it works. This isn't me talking. I'm bringing the information that I've read about this. I'm feeling better. Maribel. Maribel. I'm getting over this cold. I've been fighting for a month and it hit me yesterday. Yesterday morning when I got up last night trying to get to sleep, I should say. I started hacking like crazy. I was really upset about this. I did not want to get sick this year. I got sick once last year. All right, this makes approximately 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12 of these because I got enough for one more, I think. Okay. I don't know why they want me to brush it with more oil. God. What, do you think I got enough oil in this? Okay. We're gonna have to brush these with some more oil. I need another bowl and a brush. I will be doing a video today on how I make my all blend oil if you wish to make it. Hi, Julie, and good morning. Yeah, that's synthetic iron. That's why molasses, make sure it's blackstrap molasses you want. When I was pregnant, I took a tablespoon in the morning, and I took a tablespoon at night. And when my son was born, the first one, went to the pediatrician because, you know, it was a thing to do. So I didn't want to go. He sat there and said, "Your son is iron deficient." I said, "My son is not iron deficient." And we had a fight, and we were yelling in the doctor's office over this. And Tony settled it. He said, "Look, draw his iron, and we'll see where he sits." It came back that he had no problem. So when he had plenty of iron, and all what I did was take, like I said, a tablespoon of blackstrap molasses in the morning with my breakfast, and I had a tablespoon with my supper right before I ate. I didn't have it, actually, I had it like, you know, I took it right before I sat down at the table at both meals. And that's how I did it. I wanted to make sure. Yeah. Yeah, you stretch things out. Sometimes we have potluck. I tell them, listen, we have a lot of leftovers. That's when you don't see me because we're having leftovers. And you've already seen the dishes I've made, and I'll put I usually when we have leftovers, I'll make a salad because it's easier to do. The salads pretty much go with anything, so I figured that's a good way of getting vegetables. But I think today I'm going to have broccoli. My son said, "I'd like to have some vegetables." Okay, we'll have some vegetables. You don't want salad? We'll have that. It's not bad. I don't mind cooking vegetables. I like root vegetables, so he's going to have to like those. A lot of people say a lot of things. Like they say vitamins couldn't help. You have to take aspirin for your menstrual cramps. I took calcium, magnesium. They didn't go away right away. But after a year of being on it and having the right amount for my body, it worked. So I don't care what they say. You ought to see what a PDR says about aspirins. You'd be shocked to find the very thing that you take for aspirin. Okay, 450, we're going to bake these for, how long are we going to bake these? I have to go back here and find out. All right, we're gonna bake these for 15 minutes. Okay, so while they're in there for 15, 20, 35. Okay. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. All right, now we need exactly all right, where are the prunes on this thing? We need 20 pitted prunes. We're going to need walnuts. My problem is if I like prunes, I'll eat them. I learned from Adele Davis. The other information I got was from the ARE. Now, you want me to stick what and what? You're going to take a walnut and you're going to shove it into a pitted prune. Just like that, okay? And I read. A lot of the things that people are talking about, nutrition, like to get your hair to grow, you got to think about what you've done to your hair. If you've colored it and hairsprayed, hairspray is made of rubber. Did you know that? They call it a byproduct. But how do you think it stays in position because of that? I don't use hairsprays. Every time people use hairspray on my hair, when my mother would take me to the beauty parlor, you want to talk about an angry puss. I was mad. I did not like hairspray in my hair. Okay. I read up on makeup because I'm allergic to chemicals. I have to be very careful what I put. And I can't use this one. Can't use it. I'm going to use it. So I had to be very careful. So Merlin was what I could use, which I did. That's 4. And then they changed the chemicals and I started reacting to it. And then I just quit wearing makeup at that point. I wasn't going to wear makeup anymore. And my husband wanted me to wear makeup. Now, how often do you hear a man wanting you to wear makeup? They usually want you to take it off so they can see you. My husband, because he was an artist, he wanted to see the beauty. But he wanted me to wear makeup when I went out. So we sat there and, oh, this one's on the side. Okay, this will be easier to stuff. So I was using Bare Minerals, and then Bare Minerals got bought over, and I used it, and my face started breaking out again. Like I told you, I break out in a severe rash on my face. So I had to quit using it as well. Well, I haven't gone back to makeup, but I use the lotion I've been using my whole life. Now that I do keep using. And I gave you the name of it so you could buy it yourself. So when you put your makeup on in the morning, realize it. I use Castile soap. 4, that's 5. Here's another 5 I'm doing over here. Castor oil soap. When you take a shower, because I know most of you will take a shower instead of bathing, and you come out and you dry yourself off and wait 20 minutes and then feel your skin, move your skin, smile and stuff, and you'll feel how dry your skin is. Don't put any creams on. Go 20 minutes right after you shower, and then you can see how you're drying your skin out. Hi, Ernest. Yeah, that's all I put in mine too, Melissa. I agree with you. I use the shampoo, Olivier, and the conditioner. I haven't used the conditioner recently, only because my hair is shorter now. And when I put it on, it gets stringy. So I have it sitting in the back. Like they say, when you get older, you can't have long hair, but if I think my hair was breaking because I was using stuff in my hair to clip it back, and I might have caused the damage myself. So I'm letting it grow out. And then if it's strong, because they say gray hair is weaker, and it's stronger, I'll go ahead and use the conditioner again. But right now my hair is too short for the conditioner. It makes it stringy. And I have to wash my hair twice a week now because I wear it down a lot. So you're stuffing these prunes with a walnut. Well, they're not perfect, but all right, 5 and 5, that's 10. And then go through all these. So that's how you know you have a good soap. And I bet you most of the soaps that you use are dry before you put anything on it. No, I said to test your skin. I can't find the hole. I use Bar products, BAAR, because they come from the readings of Casey. Olivia, shampoo and conditioner. I use Natural Magic for my skin. I've been using it for over 50 years. That's what I use. I showed it. It's N-A-T-U-R-A. Then the next word is M-A-G-I-C. And you buy it at bar. You might be able, my girlfriend did find it on Amazon, but I ordered from the company a lot of the information. Like, we had a friend who liked to drink, and I found a recipe from the ARE to prevent people from becoming alcoholics. If you're an alcoholic, you take this and you can't drink liquor. And I asked him, would he be an experiment? And he said, he looked at me, he said, no, Sandy. That's my one pleasure. Don't you dare take it away from me. I said, I just want to see if it works. You know? Because I didn't drink, so it wouldn't work on me. And he was the one person I knew. He said, no, you're not going to take my vodka away from me. I said, okay. All right, 1, 2, 3, that's 15. Oh, am I going to get these done in time? I'm going to tell you, stuffing these things are not easy. You got to find the hole, get it into the hole, and then wrap it around it. But this is an ancient way of how they used to do things, using dried fruits and nuts with their meat, which we don't normally do today. Okay. They said put a whole half walnut. Well, I don't have a whole. There aren't many whole half walnuts. Some of them they tear open, so I'm going to go ahead and eat them. Do you know they want to call prunes dried plums because it offends people? Do you know how stupid that is? 2 more. Get in there. Three, 4, 1 more. Okay, we got 20 of them. I hope this is good. I also use castor oil soap you can get from bar as well. Your skin's not dry like the other soaps, you'll see a difference. But when you shower, you want to know if the soap and stuff you're using is working for you. That's all you have to do is shower, dry yourself, and wait 20 minutes. Hold your face and, you know, don't smile or talk or anything. Just sit quietly for 20 minutes. And then do that and start if you feel how dry your skin is. That's what the soap is doing to your skin. If you take your makeup off and you see blotches or your wrinkles are deep set for your age, I'm going to have enough. You know, your digestive system is a mess. And I love these people coming on the YouTube channel, and they sit there and say, oh, you only have to take this, you only have to take that. One little tab, but they make sure you have to keep on taking it. I'm going to give you the information, say, here, help yourself. It's all there. Where did I put that mat? I got threw it over here. Okay, we have 4 minutes to wait. Move to the next part. Oh, God, we're almost to the end of this. All right. You want all this added together? Okay. This bowl. Sandra, you've got so many bowls you have used. All right, you're going to need, they say, a cup of chicken stock. But I've got bone broth here. So I'm going to use a cup of bone broth because I want to make sure that we get those minerals, which is very important for us. So we're going to put this together here. We need 2/3 of a cup of dry red wine. Look, I'm not going to tell you to buy the most expensive. Buy a dry red wine. Just don't get the cheapest because if you taste it, it'll be too acid. Vinegar sort of hit in the middle if you can. If you can't do the best you can, I'm not going to tell you not to because that's stupid. But it's got to be a red wine. Like I tell my sons, because they go by the wine store to places they're going to, I said, if you pass one up, get me one. Don't give me the most expensive, but don't give me the cheapest one. Get me one that's, you know, sort of in the middle. All right, we're going to put 2/3 in with this. It's bone stock, but they want chicken or beef stock, but I'm using bone broth instead. And they want 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. I have measuring spoons somewhere. Okay. We are just about done with this recipe. It's very interesting the way it's put together. Okay. All right. We're about ready to bring this out. I'm going to need that. Get this book out of my way now. All right, we got 1 more minute. Now, if you see little yellow spots on your broccoli heads, like right here, I mean, it's really, really tiny, it's getting ready to flower. Except you'll see a lot of them on it. That's very, very old. Don't use it. I'm going to use this. It was all green when I bought it, but I'm not going to throw it out. Okay, here they are. Drop your oven down to 400. All right, now they want you to take these prunes and you're actually going to wedge them between here. Be careful, okay? I'm going to tell you that. Just be really, really careful. They are very, very tender, these the meat logs. I guess that we'll call them as meat logs, okay? It's actually 2 prunes between each of them. Okay, it adds up. Then you're going to take all this liquid that we've got. I think we're going to pour. You want me to pour all this over this? Okay. That's what they said to do. Okay, we're going to put it back in for another 15, 20 minutes to cook. It looks like it's going to fall apart personally, but that's what they want. All right, well, that's cooking for another 15 minutes, 37, 47, 52. 52, 57. We can actually leave them in there for 20 minutes, so we'll do it to 57. We'll go ahead and get this done. I'll show you how I do my broccoli. Now, if you want to make sticks and large pieces of broccoli, you can do it this way. We are making baked meatballs from Syros with walnuts, almonds, and prunes. It's an ancient recipe because it uses dried fruits and nuts cooking with their meat. Just think of the nutritional value. Now, you can make these in big pieces where they can cut it at the table, or you can sit there and do it differently. I like to do it that way. It's like having a log at the house, you know. This way I make sure they get a lot of their vegetables. If you cut it in small pieces, they're very quick to take very, very little. But when you leave them like this, they have to eat them. And that's a way of getting your family to eat them. That's what I do. So it doesn't look skimpy on the plate or anything, so it has more to it. Some people like to cut the pieces small, but then the plate looks like it doesn't have a lot of food on it. And you have to think about it. If you have smaller children, they'll take the smaller portion. If you have a husband who doesn't eat his vegetables, give him the biggest piece and tell him to eat. You know, that's how you can do it. You just rinse it. I'm going to put very little water in this because I want to use the water. And I'm not going to add anything to this. I have about 1/4 inch of water in it. You're going to say that's very little, but I also keep an eye on it too. If it runs out, I'll add a little more. But this is how I do my vegetables. If they're root vegetables, I have to, you know, add more water, but I still use the water by not adding salt, so I can use it as a stock. So whatever nutrients you cook out of it by using the water in your stocks, they're going to get it back. They just get it at a different time. And once it comes to a boil, I turn it down to simmer. Wrong lid, Sandra. I'll turn it down to simmer and let it cook. And that's pretty much it, except for the meat. We've got to finish that up, and that's it. Okay, let me put my butter up. I used about 6 tablespoons of butter in my mashed potatoes this time. Okay. Now we wait. I don't think there's much more. Oh, they do say that after 15 minutes, you're going to turn the oven off and you're going to let it sit in there. Anything else? Then they want us to adjust the sauce, and that's the whole dish. That's it. More stupid idiots on the phone. You know, they know as much as a piece of used turd knows when you have to talk like that. But at least we know what he thinks of his grandmother, which isn't very nice. And not everybody is sick like her. And that's being very disrespectful to your grandmother. And I'm not your grandmother. Oh, I need this pan out. What am I doing? No, a lot of people don't like hearing the truth. You think I like hearing it? I'm no better than anybody else. I could probably run further than you and harder than you and scream louder than you because I don't want to hear it. We're all like that. We don't want to hear it because that's facing up to what we've done to our bodies, to our lives. I mean, you can't complain about your life. You made it. If it doesn't work, that's your fault. If you're a thief and you get angry with society and all, it's because you're not trying. But like the Bible says, what comes around goes around. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So be careful. Because you'll get up there someday. And people say that about you, and then what are you going to do? This is where parents, you need a mother and father, not broken families, so the children learn to contain their mouths. And learn the hard way. You open it, you pay the price of it. And I was there, so I know what I'm talking about. Of course, my father was laughing because I embarrassed my mother for telling the truth. My father could not wipe that smile off his face. Because he knew if anybody was going to say it, Sandy's the one. I wish they could, the first captain. I wish they really could. There's no reason. He doesn't know me from Jane. For men, you usually say, he doesn't know me from Adam, so I'm going to use Jane. Or maybe Eve. We'll use the word Eve. He doesn't know me from Eve. The people who make these comments, they know nothing about me. Silva, hi. I don't care. Young people are wrapped up in sex. That's all you got? You ain't got much. I have a lot more going in my life. I said half the things some of these people. I said, if you go by the Bible, no. The Bible's very explicit. Very, very explicit. So, okay, this is boiling. Turn it down to simmer and cook just until done. And you should not cook all the water away with your vegetables, and that's how it works. Oh, you just, no, I did click, and then it came up somewhere else, and I had to do it a second time, then a third time, and a fourth, and I finally just said, I just left it alone, staying off the grid, just as some, you know, the first captain, I mean. We have 11 more minutes, and then we will be done. Thank you, Tasha. I'm going to go put my wine up. You're a hero? Okay. I was telling you what was coming up the following weeks and stuff, but the comments got so bad. You know, it's difficult when you're trying to let people know in case they want to make some of the dishes or see what's coming up so they have an idea. So I put that just for people who join. If I sit there and come cook along, I will have that for people who join, not subscribe. So that way you won't be bothered with all the bad comments and everything else that we don't want to hear. So I'm just going to clean some stuff up, and we just have to wait. If you want to wait and leave for a bit, you've got about 9 minutes left. But for me, I just want to clean up some. I have a few minutes, and this is what I usually do in the process. Kathy, right now I'm just cleaning up. We're waiting a few more minutes for the meal to finish up. This isn't making fun with anybody or anything. I'm actually just putting some of the food and stuff up from the meal. Because we're waiting, we're actually waiting. We have another 6 minutes. If you want to take a break for 6 minutes and come back, you can. But the meat is actually cooking in the oven, and it doesn't make sense to close this video down to open it up 15 minutes later and start a new one. So we're just they're sort of waiting, and I am just cleaning up my mess a bit. That's why I usually tell you how long if you want to take a break. Tasha, I don't know who I would want as a moderator. And number two, they'd probably charge me, and I am not really wealthy, okay? So I probably couldn't afford them. Because they're not going to do it for free. It's just as simple as that. Okay, now I'll show you how the broccoli looks. They don't charge? Well, then I have to find moderators then. Somebody who wants to be part of this channel. You see how that broccoli came out nice? And that was just, and I still have water in the pot. But it's nice and tender. You see how beautiful green it is. Tasha, where are you from? Because we'll have to talk. Okay? All right, Tasha. Alabama, okay. I don't see any problem with that. All right. And here it is. Very simply done. Very nice. So how do I make you a moderator, and how does this work? Okay, Tasha, I need your help on this because I do not know how to do this. You can also choose a unmode when stream is over, but it'll help for the stream. Okay. The only reason I asked where you were from, Tisha, I just wanted to make sure that you're in America. That's all. Because if we're in different countries, it would be more difficult. Tasha, you have to click on my name and follow the options. Okay. Do you have a Facebook page and stuff? I want to check you out all the way. Let me write this down before I forget it. And I'll probably make you a moderator so you can help. Wisconsin. Hi, Sharon. It seems I need a moderator, and Tasha wants to be one. Tasha, I'm going to lose your name here. Tasha Granite. G-R-A-R-R-E-T-T dash B6P. B6P. Okay, I'm going to check you out. Arizona Bullhead. I've never heard of Bullhead, Chris. And good morning, Clint. All right, Tasha Garrett at B6P. Okay, I'm going to check you out, young lady, and I'll probably send you a message. If that is your YouTube channel, I should be able to get in touch with you, and we'll see about it. All right, and we'll see how this goes. On the Colorado River, okay. I've got you in my book, so it's not going anywhere. We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and then we're going to sit there, and what do they want us to do next? I do not like that sauce. I got to taste and salt it, and I can't taste anything, and it tastes terrible to me. Tasha, I need you here in my kitchen to help me. I can't taste anything. Oh, Arizona. Hi, Chris. Let's see. How am I going to taste this? It's going to taste yucky to me. I already taste. Everything tastes yucky right now. Oh, that's going to be great. I have to adjust it. Well, anyway, they say we have to adjust it for the seasoning with the salt and our pepper flakes. Well, I can make it hotter. I can get the red pepper flakes for that. I know on Facebook we have moderators. doesn't it? And look at the water that's left. That's the little amount of water that's left, and I'll strain it and I'll put it into my vegetable stock and I'll cook with it. Now, once you take it out, if you want to salt the vegetables, you can. But if you salt it in the water, you have to throw it out. There's a Peggy on. Good morning, Peggy. Oh, Pennsylvania's here. Hi, Clint. Seems all of you know each other very well. Okay. I'm going to have to adjust this. I do not know how to adjust this. Okay. Okay, here is the dish. We have to adjust this. All right. Now, everything tastes bitter to me. So I might have to wait and let everybody else tell me. Well, I'm going to try and pray I don't kill me. I'm going to add some pepper flakes into this, give it more spice. It has a very, to me, listen, don't trust me, but I'll tell you what it tastes like to me. It has a mild taste. That's all I can basically tell you. That's all I can taste, is it's mild. Okay, so pepper flakes are warm. I cannot taste the salt or anything. I don't know if you need to add salt to this. I'll trust you to do that yourself because I really don't know. Okay, Clint. Okay. I think everybody's saying good morning to everybody. Not hot water, Sandra, you need cold. So that's it. On this vegetables, we're having mashed potatoes. And remember, if you do make this dish, they recommend having fries with it or mashed potatoes. They say it goes excellent. Also remember, because we're using dried fruits and nuts in this, this is an ancient grain from days gone by, as they say. So listen, you guys, every time I go to say bye, you guys, you start coming in. It makes it difficult. Okay. So listen, I want all of you to take care. Have a great day. But if you do make this dish, remember they want potatoes, being mashed, or French fries. So listen, take care, be safe, and enjoy the weather, okay? Except where it's really cold, stay indoors, you know. And don't get sick, anybody, okay? Bye-bye.